Nomanacaris.
Phew! We've covered a lot of ground. I've had a rockin' great time showing you around, but the folds, faults and fossils are only part of the story of this special landscape. There is so much more to explore, and even some new friends to join our adventure. Let's head back down the hill and join them in my camper van. I think they might have a few ideas of where our journey could take us next.
So oil companies and stuff visualize rocks in 3D using 3D suites like we've just used, sort of. Alright, so I'm in a...
Life was as tiny as can be. Microscopic algae floating all around the sea. Then the big freeze came, but when it melted over time, thus began a new age with those creatures of the slime.
They've got their own song! This is so well done. It's actually a really good song. And I've got a beer. It looks like we've got a pretty good view as well. Oh, look at that. So I got my bear, I got my cushions, my bag. This would be like the best place to do a field trip if you had one of these camper vans. Right, so we've got the map in front of us and some different options of things to look at. This map looks 3D. It is 3D. Let me just get right down low. The resolution in this is so good. Like, that is unbelievable. I've just got, like, a bit of Australia in 3D in front of me. Like, I would love a way to toggle the geological map on and off of this. But look, you can see the layers coming round. You can see how it's the syncline in there and it's folded over and pinches out and oh. It is just a geologist's dream to see this kind of thing. They've got two songs. Like, just picking up documents and just holding them. That's unbelievable.
G'day there, I'm Dawn. I study how these mountains formed and what they can tell us about how life on Earth has evolved. If you're keen, together let's take a look at how scientists understand the Flinders Ranges, so you can see it just like I do.
It's a postcard! So I'm guessing that's what we've already done.
In the ocean there are places we can go.
I just want to chill out in my van and just listen to the radio.
Yesterdays have gone, for today we carry on to help all living things survive and grow. In the ocean there are places we can go.
Am I a hippie?
In the ocean there are many things to know.
This just makes me want to go to Australia. I want to go and dig up Ediacaran fossils. I do not want to leave this van. Like, can I actually get... just bumping my way through my room? Razorback, look at it. Hey! Where's my thumb? My thumb doesn't work. Yeah! Who's that man? He's from the University of South Australia. I'm happy that you are happy to see me, but if you could leave me in peace for a bit. I just wish this one had a little curtain. Yeah, bye. Right, let's go. Let's go see our ancient ancestors.
Was weird, slimy, and lived long, long ago under the sea. Our ancient animal ancestors. Join me, Professor Flint, and let's take a deep dive to explore this wonderful underwater world.
Let's do it. Become a fossil. They're singing about Charlie Dickinsonia. Become a fossil detective, travel back in time and swim with the Ediacaran, then come face to face with the predators of the Cambrian. So we're going to end up in the Cambrian period. That's awesome. I just can't believe. We're going to have to find out where this music comes from because it's awesome.
Was weird, slimy, and lived long, long ago. Was weird, slimy, and lived long, long ago under the sea.
Go. So.
Well, hello there, fancy seeing you here. It is I, Professor Flint, global authority in all things weird and wonderful from the natural world. I see you look a bit lost and out of place. Well, that's because you stepped back in time by over 500 million years. 555 million years to be exact. Welcome to the Ediacaran period. Long before dinosaurs ruled the continents, when all animals lived in the oceans, in fact, the land that would become the Flinders Ranges was a shallow sea stretching along the eastern coastline of ancient Australia.
Would have been quite nice.
At this time, the land was completely barren, not a plant in sight. So where did our ancient animal ancestors live? To find out, we must journey underwater and meet the strange and intriguing creatures we know today as the Ediacaran biota.
Oh, it feels weird.
Unlike most animals today, the strange things that lived here had no hard parts, no bones or teeth or shells. Instead, these Ediacarans were soft and flexible. They didn't swim, and mostly they lived on the sea floor. Take a look around you. What do you notice? Some of these Ediacarans were big. Many others were tiny but had special powers of their own.
Special powers?
In your hand is a camera. It has special powers too. There are 7 different Ediacarans here on the seafloor. Some you can see already, but some are shy. With the help of your camera, can you find all the Ediacarans? Use your trigger button to take a photo of each one and add it to your collection.
Well, I am very fond of some of these ones, so let's start there with Charnia. Arborea. Size. Ant? Human? What? I don't understand that. Habitat upright, nature laid back, speed. Grabbing food particles with its unique fingers. I thought it was supposed to be a chemotroph. As in, like, it absorbed nutrients from the seawater directly. Yeah, I don't understand what the scale is supposed to be and where it is on that scale. Press the trigger button to read more. Anchored to the seafloor with these holdfasts, so it would have had kind of like a disc underneath it, and it was originally thought that those were 2 different fossils, at least with Charnia. You had the frond, which is the big leaf bit, then a stem, and then a holdfast disc underneath it. Stood upright in the water, some Arborea fossils were more than 2 meters tall. Scientists think that some Ediacarans, like Arborea, probably fed on tiny particles of food in the water, a bit like corals today. Okay. So we got that one. This is gorgeous, first and foremost. I don't have any shadow, so it must be a vampire. but I can't get any closer. Oh yes, I can! Alright, here we go. Well, this looks like a tribrachidium. Oh, okay, I see. So it's a bar, and the bar was completely filled. So it had no speed and full size, the arborea. So tribrachidium, habitat lived on the seafloor. It was calm in nature. I mean, was anything not calm here? Special power, an Ediacaran evolutionary experiment, because it had trifold radial symmetry, I think. Tribrachidium is a very special Ediacaran. Most animals alive today have bilateral symmetry, left and right. We have bilateral left arm, right arm, and we divided by a line of symmetry straight down the body. This means, oh god, I should just read this thing before trying to explain it. This means you can draw a line down the middle of an ant or a lizard, for example, or yourselves, and it would be about the same shape on both sides. Tribrachidium, instead, had a triradial symmetry. Its 3 arms or lobes were identical. Organisms with triradial symmetry were unique to the Ediacaran period and don't exist anywhere else in the fossil record. Yeah, so you can see that it's got these 3 little radial things. So like a starfish has got 5-fold radial symmetry. These have got 3-fold. Yeah, and as they say, nothing else had that. There's a beautiful Dickinsonia. Listen, let's go fire. This is making me feel sick. So Dickinsonia, big mat. There are... Should I tell you, or should I just let this tell you? But they had trace fossils leading like little plop, 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 where it might have been eating like this algal mat from the surface. So you had all like the sand, and then growing on it, you've got all this green stuff, and this is these algal mats that you had. So they were photosynthesizing from the sun, and then you had things that for the first time were starting to eat and graze, and these things moved about, and you have the trace fossils where they've left a perfect kind of replica of each one of them as it moved along. Nature flat out. Pancake. Strength in numbers, one of the most common Ediacarans in the Flinders Ranges. Dickinsonia is one of the most common fossils found in the Flinders Ranges. It might look like a stripy pancake lying on the seafloor, but don't let that fool you. These creatures fed on the slimy microbial mat, sorry, I've already explained that, leaving bare patches that look like footprints behind as they moved. So there's some really nice details about which the head end and which the tail end is, and how they actually grow, how different segments are added, and some of these don't have perfect left-right symmetry. So it's really interesting trying to figure out like if these were actually animals, or if they are, what kinds of animals there are. And there's loads of different like Dickinsonia morphs and other animal-like animals knocking around. There's Kimberella. Let's see if we can go find that. It's not over here. Let's swim. Who's this? Funisia. Size upright. Nature wavy. Oh yes it is. Strength staying upright in a world of algal mat dwellers. Funisia is a worm-like Ediacaran that stood upright on the seafloor. Paleontologists think it was probably a very early animal. That's an animal! Think about that. Perhaps related to sea sponges that you can find washed up on the beach today. Cool! It's an ancient sponge, maybe. Oh, it's so nice to just be down here, in amongst it all. It's so immersive, it feels like you're... Let's have a look at these. Maybe I'm wrong saying that they're the same as Charnia. But yeah, frondy things. Here we go, here's a Kimberella. Click. Nature hungry. Special powers, an ancient ancestor of snails today. And the reason that this will tell you in a second is because inside it is something that resembles a radula, which is the kind of like toothy tongue that a snail and a slug has. Hits Kimberella eating the slimy green microbial. Matt, yum, delicious. Paleontologists think that Kimberella might have been a mollusk related to the sea snails and limpets you find in rock pools at the beach today. Yeah, they're super cool, and it's one of the only ones, one of the few, that have like a very obvious front end and tail end when you have this little bit sticking out. Because everything else is... Yeah, so things like the Dickinsonia and the Tribrachidium, where they are symmetrical, and it's not really clear which the front and back is. This one is, which lends it more to being a bilaterian, being able to draw that line of symmetry down the centre of it. Over here is these little Parvancarinas, which I don't know if we're going to get to see, but again, those are things that have a very obvious head and tail end. You can argue which way around it goes. Oh, here we go, Tribrachidium. Parvancarina, sorry. Tiny, shy, special power, lined its body with the current to catch more food. Parvancarina was one of the smallest Ediacarans that lived on the seafloor. Its distinctive anchor shape gives it its name. Yeah, there's the little anchor. And then we are missing one more or something? Can't see. Over there. How did it come out of the water? The swimming isn't very intuitive. What's this? This is Sprigina. And it's cool that it's actually moving around as well, that they've decided to animate some of these. I don't know if they've done it to any of the others. But this one's definitely moving around. And this one, pretty obviously, has a head and a tail. Click. On the move, special powers, South Australia's state fossil emblem. Does Sprigina look familiar? Maybe that's because it's South Australia's fossil emblem. It's also one of the rarest Ediacaran fossils and is found only in the Flinders ranges. I think it was named after Reginald Sprigg, I think, who was like one of the researchers. Oh, this one's glowing. Is there more? What do I do now? I've seen them all. How many did you say? Alright, I got a trophy.
Congratulations! You're now a paleo detective. You discovered all the Ediacarans and learned about our ancient animal ancestors. I wonder which ones look most like me. There is one small problem, though. When paleontologists find these fossils, they're no longer alive like they are here, but preserved in rocks, the same kind you often find in museums. As an extra challenge, can you match the Ediacarans you discovered with the fossils found in rocks at the Flinders Ranges? Pick up each one and try to match it to the correct rock.
This is brilliant, because it's one thing to see it alive, it's another thing to understand what it looks like as a fossil. Yes. How do I... Do I have to go over there? Because there's not enough room in my house.
Much later.
Right, press all the buttons. Oh, I can swim. I can swim, it's okay. Dickinsonia. Donk. That one, pretty obvious. Anchor, anchor. That one, you can see that little head bit, and then the big long tail with all the different segments. Sprigina. That one, you can see that trifold symmetry. These are my favourite ones. So something like Io Andromeda, I think, is one of these radial ones, and I just think they're so beautiful. It's great to just have a little look at it now as well. Thank you, Tribrachidian.
Great work. You're now a fossil super sleuth. You've learned all about the weird and wonderful Ediacaran fossils of the Flinders Ranges.
I like those little
Next time
badges.
you pick up a rock, look closer. It may just hold the secrets of your ancient animal ancestors. The Ediacarans really were weird and wonderful. But where did they all go? Why don't we see them washed up on the beach? Some of them evolved into animals we recognize today, but many others went extinct when predators first appeared. So who were these predators? To find them, we must journey forward in time, into the Cambrian.
No! And he's singing about Anomalocaris. I want to hear the Anomalocaris song.
Dragonfly closer can terrify. There was nowhere to hide.
Anomalocaris. So we've done that. If you want to see the Copper Road,
Is that copper I spy in those hills? I'm Pegleg Blinden, and I'll be your guide to the history and heritage of copper mining in the Flinders Ranges. Take a journey back in time with me and meet the ghosts of mining past.
Was weird, slimy, and lived long, long ago.
if you wanted to make it so a paleontologist can't think, just play them this song, because it's impossible to talk and think and listen when this song is on. And I'm gonna sing this in my head all night. Nom nom nom, a nom nom nom. Anomalocaris, anomalanomalam. I can't even sing it. And you listener, you listening, you are going to try and sing this, and you are not going to be able to do it either. Right.
Places we can go in the ocean there.
There are so many, so many incredibly specific Ediacaran / Cambrian based songs on that thing, and I am not touching it whilst I am just trying to wrap up my thoughts because I just can't think. Right. This game is incredibly immersive, and it is just filled with great ways of showing things that you just can't get from any other games. I mean, I've already mentioned this table and its 3D rocks, and just being able to see in this section where it's got all the geological overlays, that kind of stuff is invaluable for teaching people about how rocks form, about how they're deformed and folded, and large-scale structural geology. You can do in VR. Something like this is just absolutely amazing for doing that. And then something like the Ancient Ancestors section, where we saw the Ediacaran biota, all of the fossils alive and in situ, and in the correct environment and in the correct abundances, and the relative sizes and stuff. When you go to a museum, unless it's got a really amazing diorama, you're not going to see that. You're not going to be able to experience that world. And so I honestly believe that something like a VR science game has the ability more so than a visit to a museum, to actually immerse you into an environment and to show you things in a more efficient way than you can even get in a museum. I think something like this game should be the future of education. But obviously with it being VR, you've got to have a ridiculous computer, which is over here somewhere in my room, powering it all. And not everyone can afford this. But when you can, what you get is insane. I have never seen a valley more beautiful than this. And even though like you're looking at on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, in person with these VR goggles on, it is beautiful. Like, it actually feels so immersive, and I am in love with this game. I think it is truly something special, incredibly educational. I think that there is more education that can be shoehorned into this. I think that there's more information that could be put into this. Like, obviously when we were taking pictures with the camera and it had information there, you can add more and more to that. And you can add more and more to things like the geological interpretations on the maps and stuff. It has such potential, and I am very interested into what all these other things would be. If you want to know what the Copper Road is, let us know and we'll have a go at that. But I think that this really should get an award. So we're going to give it the first Palaeocast Gold Award. I can't even remember what we called it. Gold Award for this game. It is truly brilliant. It's free. I think you should get it. When you do get it, make sure you tell that guy, because he really wants you to enjoy this game. And mate, I have enjoyed this game. I hope you can hear me. Like, I have loved this. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to the University of South Australia. This game is brilliant, and I hope you have a good day, all right? Thanks. And you.